People in the city whispered strange stories about the old alien restaurant at the end of Silver Street. Some said lights inside moved like living creatures. Others said they heard voices even when the building was empty. A few believed the place was cursed after its owner, an alien named Velter, died suddenly. But no one expected that a normal human man, Ryan Cole, would become the new owner. Ryan never wanted a restaurant. He ran a small food truck and cooked simple things: fries, burgers, soup bowls. He lived alone, minding his own business. Velter was only a regular customer who came once a week, always with a warm smile and a quiet nature. Ryan didn't even know Velter's full story. That was why, on the cold morning when a glowing alien messenger drone landed outside Ryan's truck, he felt frozen with shock. The drone opened and spoke in Velter's voice. "Ryan Cole, I leave my restaurant to you. And my family. Protect them." The message ended before Ryan could respond. The drone fell silent, turned black and shut down forever. Ryan felt the air leave his chest. Why him? He barely knew the alien. And what did he mean by family? His hands trembled as he held the little drone. A crowd stared at him from a distance, waiting to see what he would do next. Ryan swallowed, locked his food truck, and walked toward the alien district, toward the restaurant that was suddenly his. The streets there always looked different from human areas. Buildings curved in soft shapes. Walls glowed with blue and purple lights. Everything had a quiet hum, like the whole place was breathing. When Ryan reached the restaurant gate, he stopped. The sign above the door still said, "Velter's Table for all SPSI." White glow of the sign flickered like a heartbeat. Ryan pushed the door gently. It opened on its own, as if welcoming him or warning him. Inside, the restaurant was nothing like he expected. No dust, no broken furniture. The place looked freshly cleaned, as if someone wiped every surface just minutes ago. The lights adjusted themselves slowly, forming a warm tone. Though Ryan had touched nothing, he walked between the tables, feeling the floor vibrate under his shoes. It wasn't the vibration of machines. It felt alive, like something deep below the floor was stirring. Ryan forced himself forward until he reached the counter. A small square object sat there, glowing with soft red light. He picked it up, and it activated instantly, projecting a tiny hologram of Velter. "Ryan," the hologram said with a tired smile, "I'm gone now. My death was not natural. And because I refused to give the syndicate what they wanted." The recording glitched, the image shaking. "My wife and daughter are in danger. They will come to you. Protect them. Trust no one." The hologram blinked out. Ryan stood still, breathing hard. He wanted to believe this was a mistake, some misunderstanding. But the fear in Velter's last words felt real. Suddenly, a soft creaking sound drifted from upstairs. Footsteps. Slow, heavy, as if someone was walking right above him. Ryan spun toward the staircase. "Hello," he called. No answer. Another step. Then another. He picked up a metal spoon from the counter, his only weapon, and moved slowly toward the stairs. His heartbeat pounded in his ears. Every step felt longer than the last. When he reached the base of the stairs, the footsteps stopped. Silence filled the whole building. Ryan climbed one step. Then another. A sudden click echoed behind him. He turned fast. The back door, locked when he entered, was now open just an inch. A cold breeze rolled through it, chilling the air. Ryan stepped down again, moving toward the door with cautious steps. He pushed it wider. He saw no person outside. Only the empty alley. But something was off. The shadows looked wrong, too long, too sharp. And then he heard it. A low breath, soft, slow, close. Ryan froze. He felt someone standing just beyond the darkness, watching him, measuring him. But when he blinked, the presence vanished like smoke. The alley returned to normal. He shut the door quickly and locked it twice. The restaurant lights flickered again, as if reacting to his fear. Ryan leaned against the wall, breathing shakily. He hated this already. He didn't want trouble. He didn't want danger. And he definitely didn't want someone else's enemies. But before he could think further, a small voice spoke behind him. "You're the human." "Ryan Cole?" Ryan jumped and turned around. A tall, silver-skinned woman stood in the entrance, her long hair glowing softly. Behind her was a little alien girl, eyes wide and scared, holding the woman's hand tightly. "I am Lara," the woman said quietly. "Velter's wife." The girl whispered, "Mama, is he safe?" Ryan swallowed hard. The restaurant's air shifted as if listening. He knew. In that moment, life was never going back to normal. He would not return to his food truck. He would not sleep peacefully for many nights, because Velter's last words were now standing right in front of him alive. Frightened and expecting protection, Ryan forced a shaky breath. "Come inside," he said softly. The door closed behind them on its own, sealing all three inside the restaurant that had chosen him. Ryan didn't know what to say when Lara and the little girl stepped inside. The restaurant door closed behind them with a soft thud, almost like it was sealing them in. Lara's silver skin shimmered under the lights, and her long eyes carried a silent fear she was trying to hide. The girl, Mira, clutched her mother's sleeve tightly, looking at Ryan as if he might hurt them. I'm Ryan," he said, his voice shaking more than he hoped. "Velter sent me a message. I'm sorry for your loss." Lara nodded slowly, her expression a mix of sadness and exhaustion. "He trusted you," she whispered. "More than anyone else." Ryan blinked. "But why me? I'm just a guy with a food truck." "You are a human," Lara said simply. "And that makes you unpredictable. Aliens can read each other's emotions. They can sense lies, fear, secrets. But humans, we cannot be read. That is why Velter chose you. You are invisible to those who killed him." A cold chill ran through Ryan's body. Invisible to killers. That didn't sound like a compliment. Mira stepped slightly forward, still half hiding behind her mother. "Mama said you would help us," she whispered, her voice soft as wind. She said, "You are kind." Ryan's throat tightened. He didn't feel brave or strong. He felt like someone standing on the edge of a cliff, too scared to jump and too scared to back away. "Well," he said softly, "you're safe here. I'll do what I can." Mira blinked up at him, eyes glowing faintly. "The restaurant likes you," she said quietly. Ryan stared at her. "The restaurant likes me?" Lara gently placed a hand on her daughter's shoulder. "Our buildings have energy, memory. Some call it the spirit of the place. Velter built this restaurant with care. It reacts to danger. And to people." Right at that moment, the lights above flickered twice soft, gentle, like greeting them. "See?" Mira said. Ryan swallowed. He didn't like the idea of living inside a building with a personality. They all sat at one of the tables, the room feeling calmer now that they were talking. Lara explained how Velter had been threatened for months by a syndicate of powerful alien clans. They believed he was hiding something, the same something he refused to give them. After Velter died, Lara and Mira had been running from district to district, trying to stay out of sight. When Velter realized he would not survive, Lara said softly, "He sent the ownership to you. Because they cannot track a human the same way they track us. You were our only chance." Ryan rubbed his forehead. "I barely knew him. Why didn't he choose another alien?" Lara looked him straight in the eyes. "Because aliens can be forced. Humans cannot. Your mind is a closed door." Mira reached into her small bag and pulled out a folded cloth. Inside it was a tiny silver ring, Velter's ring. She placed it on the table gently. "This is yours now," she said. Ryan didn't touch it. Something about the ring felt wrong, heavy, alive. Before he could ask anything, the restaurant lights dimmed suddenly. A low hum vibrated through the walls like warning breath. Laura stood instantly. Someone is outside. Ryan's heart jumped to his throat. He moved silently toward the window and peeked out through the blinds. At first he saw nothing. Then, a tall figure stood under the street lamp, still as a statue, covered in dark clothing from head to toe. No face visible. The shadow man. The same presence Ryan felt earlier. He wasn't imagining it. Mira gasped softly. He found us again. Ryan pulled the blinds shut quickly. Is he dangerous? Laura's voice hardened. He follows us. Watches us. We don't know who he is. But he never attacks. He only waits. That's worse, Ryan muttered. The hum in the restaurant faded slowly, as if the building sensed the danger leaving. Lyra sat again but didn't relax. The restaurant will open soon. It only opens at night. We must prepare. Prepare? Ryan frowned. For what? For customers, Lyra said. Many will come. Some friendly, some not. But all must follow the rules. Mira's voice lowered to a whisper. If anyone breaks the rules, the restaurant gets angry. Ryan stared at her. What happens when it gets angry? Mira shook her head. You don't want to know. Just then, a soft bell rang near the front door. The first customer of the night had arrived. Lara stood calmly. Mira hid behind her. Ryan felt his stomach twist into knots as the door opened slowly. And a hooded alien stepped inside, face completely hidden. The restaurant lights flickered like nervous eyes. Night had begun. And Ryan realized this wasn't a business. It was a battlefield. The hooded alien stepped inside with slow, careful movements. Ryan had seen many alien species before, but this one felt different. Its entire body was covered, face, hands, even its neck, but the way it moved suggested it was studying everything around it. The door closed behind it without touching anything. Mira tightened her grip on her mother's sleeve. Lara bowed lightly. Welcome to Velter's table. The alien didn't speak. It only nodded and walked toward a corner booth, sitting down without lifting the hood. Ryan stood frozen behind the counter, unsure what he was supposed to do. Lara looked at him and gave a gentle nod. Go take the order, she whispered. Ryan swallowed hard and walked toward the booth. The closer he got, the colder the air felt around him. It was like the alien carried a chilling fog inside its clothes. When Ryan reached the table, he cleared his throat. Hello. What would you like to order? A long, thin hand appeared from the sleeves, holding a small metallic card. The alien tapped it twice, and glowing letters appeared, none in a language Ryan understood. But somehow the words rearranged themselves, reshaping into English. The order was simple: Velter's peace broth, level 3 heat. Ryan nodded, though he had no idea how to make such a dish. He carried the card back to Laura, who read it with a sad expression. This was Velter's favorite recipe, she said softly. He made it for customers who wanted peace between clans or families. Peace broth? Ryan whispered. Does it actually do something? Lara didn't answer. Instead, she walked to the kitchen and began preparing the dish with calm, graceful movements. Her hands glowed faintly as she heated the broth, the steam rising in spirals like soft blue ribbons. Mira climbed onto a stool behind the counter and watched with big eyes. Velter said this soup makes people speak truth, Myra whispered. Even if they don't want to. Ryan blinked. Truth? Like magic? Not magic, Lara said, stirring the pot. Just chemistry that humans do not understand yet. Before Ryan could ask more, the restaurant lights flickered twice quick and sharp. Lara glanced toward the door. Another customer, she said. Ryan turned. The door opened slowly, and a second alien stepped inside, taller and more intimidating than the first. This one didn't hide its face. Its skin had dark blue stripes and eyes that glowed like fireflies. It walked straight to the counter and slammed a fist down. "I want table 7, it growled. Ryan looked at Lara in panic. She shook her head gently. "Table 7 is taken." The blue-striped alien hissed angrily. "By who?" Lara didn't answer. The alien leaned forward, staring directly at Ryan. "You're the human he chose?" Ryan's heart jumped. Yes?" The alien's lips curled into something like a smile. "Interesting." Ryan suddenly felt like prey being inspected by a predator. But Lara stepped in between them calmly. "You may sit at table 3, she said softly. The alien growled again but obeyed. As it walked away, Mira whispered, "That one always lies. The broth will not taste good for him." Ryan gave Mira a confused look, but she only shook her head as if she'd said too much. Soon, more figures entered 3, then 4, then 7. All different species, all strangely quiet. They sat in shadows, ordering dishes Ryan had never heard of. Yet every time he carried food from the kitchen, the customers accepted it with respect. Like each bowl held something sacred, but not everyone behaved. Near the back corner, a pair of small creatures began whispering loudly in a sharp alien language. The lights above them dimmed suddenly. Mira's head snapped up. "They're arguing," she murmured. "The restaurant doesn't like fighting." Before Ryan could react, the ground beneath the arguing pair vibrated. Their table shook, then their chairs slid apart slowly, pushing them away from each other. Both creatures froze, terrified, and immediately fell silent. Ryan's skin tingled. Okay, that was new. Lara placed the finished bowl of peace broth in his hands. "Table 7, she said. "Be careful." He carried the broth to the hooded alien. As he set it down, the alien lifted its hand again and slid a small folded note across the table. Ryan picked it up, confused. The alien whispered in a dry, icy voice, "Read it alone." Ryan walked away, heart pounding. Behind the counter, he unfolded the note. The handwriting was sharp and uneven. "Velter was murdered. They know you inherited the place. Be ready. You're next." A loud sound made him jump. Heavy footsteps on the rooftop, slow, deliberate, dragging slightly. Like someone who didn't care if they were heard. Ryan looked at Lara. "Do any customers climb the roof?" She shook her head. "Our species cannot." The footsteps continued above them, echoing through the ceiling like a warning from something that wasn't supposed to be there. Mira whispered, her voice trembling, "He's back. The shadow man is on the roof." The footsteps above the restaurant didn't stop. They moved slowly from one side of the roof to the other, heavy and steady, like someone pacing with purpose. Every customer froze. Even those who didn't understand human fear could sense something was wrong. The lights dimmed slightly, as if the building itself held its breath. Ryan looked up at the ceiling, his skin crawling. "He's really on the roof," he whispered. Lara placed a steady hand on Mira's shoulder. "Do not panic. The restaurant will protect us as long as no rule is broken." "But this isn't normal," Ryan said. "Shouldn't we call someone?" "Who?" Lara asked quietly. "The police? They fear our district." "The syndicate? They want us dead, humans. They cannot fight what hunts us." Ryan had no reply. The footsteps finally stopped. Silence brushed across the restaurant like a cold wind. One by one, the customers returned to eating, though more cautiously. Lara leaned closer to Ryan. "Come, there is something you must see." She guided him through the kitchen doors. The noise from outside dimmed instantly. The kitchen smelled of herbs, metals, and the strange glowing spices Velter had always used. But as Ryan looked around, he noticed something odd. There were no shadows, even though pots, tables, and equipment stood everywhere. Each object cast a faint glowing outline instead of a normal shadow. "What is this place?" Ryan whispered. "A kitchen," Lyra said softly. "But also a memory. Velter built this space using our ancient materials. The walls store our emotions. The food holds our history. And the more danger we face, the more the building wakes up." She walked toward a metallic cupboard in the corner. It had no handles or hinges, just a solid, smooth surface. Lyra placed her palm on it, and glowing lines spread out like veins. The cupboard opened with a slow hiss. Inside were shelves of jars round, glass-like, glowing in different colors. Ryan stepped back. "What is all of that?" "These are Velter's ingredients," Lyra explained. "Not for taste. For truth, memory, and protection." Ryan pointed to a jar that pulsed softly like a heartbeat. "Why is that one moving?" Lyra's expression grew serious. "That jar is alive." Ryan choked on his breath. "Alive? As in living?" "Yes, it is one of our rarest items. Only Velter knew how to control it." Mira peeked inside, eyes wide with worry. "Papa said this one is dangerous. It cries when it senses lies." Ryan stared at the jar uneasily. Inside, something shifted like a ball of bright liquid rolling against the glass. It made a faint whimpering sound, almost like a child. He shivered. "Why would anyone keep this?" "Because the syndicate wants it," Lyra said quietly. "They believe it can control minds." But Velter knew the truth. It does not control minds. It reveals what people want to hide. Ryan took a step back. "And they're after this thing?" "They are after everything Velter left behind," Lyra replied. "Which is why you must learn." Mira tugged on Ryan's sleeve. "We want you to know Papa's secrets, so you don't die like him." Ryan's stomach dropped. Before he could speak, the restaurant lights flickered violently, once, twice, then again and again. The walls vibrated. Something hit the front door hard, making a loud metallic bang. Lyra's eyes widened. "They're here!" Ryan ran to the kitchen entrance and peeked out. The hooded alien from Table 7 had stood up, watching the door. The blue-striped alien had gone silent, staring with glowing eyes. Every customer was alert. Then the banging came again, stronger this time. The door shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Mira's voice trembled. "The Shadow Man never knocks." Lyra moved quickly. "Ryan, come back inside the kitchen." He ran back in as she closed the kitchen doors. They sealed with a soft hum, glowing faintly blue. "We must hide the jar," Lyra said urgently, reaching for it. But before she touched it, the jar cracked. A thin line ran across its surface. Blue light spilled through the crack. Inside, the living mass rolled violently, pressing against the glass like it wanted to escape. Ryan stepped back. "It's breaking." "What do we do?" "Do not touch it," Lyra warned. The jar screeched. The sound went straight into Ryan's bones. He felt dizzy. Mira covered her ears and started crying. The glowing liquid inside pushed harder, creating another crack. Then the banging on the restaurant door stopped. Silence fell. Complete, unnatural silence. Lyra froze. "This means whoever was at the door is now inside." Ryan's blood ran cold. The kitchen lights dimmed to a soft red. The alive jar vibrated violently, almost like it was afraid. Ryan felt someone's presence. Shadow moved behind the frosted kitchen window. Tall, still, watching. Same one from the roof. The Shadow Man had finally come inside. The shadow behind the frosted window did not move. It simply stood there, tall and still, like a dark shape carved out of fear itself. Ryan felt his heartbeat pounding so hard he could hear it in his ears. Lyra pulled Mira close, shielding her with her arms. The alive jar in the cupboard shook violently, glowing brighter with each passing second. as if it sensed danger too. Ryan whispered, "He's inside." "The Shadow Man is inside the restaurant." Lara nodded slowly, her voice barely audible. "He must not enter the kitchen. This room is the only place he cannot cross easily. It carries Velter's memory." As if responding to her words, the kitchen walls glowed faintly warm, soft, protective. The shadow outside flickered, distorted like it was testing the boundary. The alive jar gave a shrill cry, and the shadow vanished from the window. Ryan stepped back from the door. Where did he go? Before anyone could answer, a soft beep came from the opposite corner of the kitchen. A small device, smooth, round, glowing, rose from a hidden slot in the wall. Mira gasped. "That's Papa's recorder," she whispered. The device floated toward Ryan and projected a hologram Velter's face, flickering with static. His voice was weaker this time, as if recorded during his final hours. "Ryan," Velter said, "if you are seeing this, then it means the danger has crossed the walls. My brother is among them." Ryan's eyes widened. "His brother?" Lara closed her eyes. "I feared this." The hologram continued. "My death was not random. The syndicate demanded the energy core, the living jar. They believed I could use it to unite the alien clans under one voice. They feared I would expose their crimes. But I refused to hand it over." Static interrupted the message for a moment. When the image returned, Velter looked even more tired. "I sent my family away. I sent the restaurant to you because humans confuse the syndicate scanners. They cannot predict your thoughts or sense your lies. That is why. You are the only one they fear." Ryan whispered, "I'm not brave. I'm not strong." The hologram flickered again, as if hearing him. "You do not need to be strong," Velter said. "You only need to be human." A sudden loud thud shook the kitchen door. The Shadow Man was back, hitting harder this time. Lara held Mira tighter. Ryan moved closer to them, even though he felt helpless. The hologram brightened, projecting a final warning. "My brother believes I betrayed our clan by protecting the core. He thinks humans are weak, and that you are unworthy of what I left behind. Ryan, if he finds you, he will kill you. And then he will take Lara and Mira. But listen to me carefully." Velter leaned closer. "My brother is blinded by rage. But he is not evil. He is searching for truth that only the core can reveal." Another bang slammed against the door, harder than before. Dust rained down from the ceiling. Mira cried softly. "Mama, I don't want him to come in." Lara stroked her hair. "I know, my little star. I know." Velter's hologram went on, voice growing faint. "Ryan, you must learn to use the kitchen the way I did. The food here is not only for eating, it is for revealing. If my brother enters, give him the final dish. It will force his heart to speak." Ryan stared. "What final dish?" Velter gave a sad smile. "The dish only humans can make. You have something we do not: instinct, emotion, fear. These feelings shape the food here." Ryan felt a lump form in his throat. "In the end," Velter said quietly, "my brother will discover the truth, that I chose you not to replace me, but to protect them." Suddenly, the hologram froze mid-sentence and distorted badly. Then it glitched apart, scattering into tiny lights until nothing was left. The kitchen door rattled again, this time with a deep growl behind it. Ryan stepped slowly toward the door, holding his breath. A blood-red message began to seep across the floor from the gap under the door, drawn by an invisible finger. The glowing letters formed one by one. Hand over the restaurant. OR hand over the family. Ryan's entire body went cold. This wasn't just a threat, it was a promise. He looked at Lara and Mira, both terrified, both trusting him without question. And for the first time, Ryan felt something new inside him, not fear, not confusion, but a fierce determination Velter must have seen long before he did. He wiped the blood-written, message with his shoe and whispered, "They're not getting this place. And they're not getting you." But the moment he said it, a sharp, metallic crack echoed from the entryway. The Shadow Man had begun breaking the kitchen door open. Asterisk. The kitchen door cracked again, louder this time, splitting down the middle like a bone snapping. Mira covered her ears, trembling. Lara pulled her close, her eyes sharp and worried. The alive jar glowed brighter, shaking violently as if reacting to the danger outside. Ryan backed away from the breaking door, his pulse racing. "How strong is he?" he whispered. Lara answered in a tight voice. "Strong enough to kill Velter. Strong enough to kill all of us if he enters." The door cracked again. A long dark hand pushed through the gap, thin, claw-like, and glowing faintly. Ryan stumbled back. The hand was not human. Not fully alien either. It looked like a shadow made solid. Lara whispered, "He's changing." Using his clan form. The door exploded inward. The Shadow Man stepped in. He was taller than Ryan expected, almost scraping the ceiling. His body was covered in dark armor-like layers that moved like living cloth. His face was hidden under a mask, black, smooth, reflecting the kitchen lights in ghostly patterns. The only visible part was his eyes, faint white slits glowing with cold anger. Mira whimpered. "Mama, he's here." Lara stepped in front of her. "Stay behind me." The Shadow Man looked around the kitchen, studying everything silently. His gaze paused on the cupboard, the one with the alive jar. The jar screamed the moment it felt his presence, a high, painful sound that made the lights flicker violently. Ryan shouted, "Stop! You can't take that." The masked figure slowly tilted his head toward Ryan, as if surprised the human dared speak at all. Then he moved, not walked, not ran. He glided across the floor, silent and fast, aiming straight for the cupboard. Ryan grabbed the first thing he could, an iron frying pan, and swung it with all his strength. The pan hit the Shadow Man's arm, creating a spark, but the blow barely slowed him. The Shadow Man turned his masked face toward Ryan. Ryan's breath caught. The mask's eyes narrowed, glowing brighter. Lara rushed forward, her skin flashing silver white. "Leave him alone." She struck the intruder with a sharp glowing blast from her palm. The energy hit his chest, pushing him back a few steps. The kitchen trembled. The jars rattled on the shelves. But the Shadow Man didn't fall. He steadied himself, shoulders rising, then turned his attention to Lyra. That tiny pause was all Mira needed. The little girl raised both hands. Her palms glowed in a soft blue light. "Go away," she cried. A shockwave erupted from her, knocking utensils off the walls and forcing the Shadow Man to take a full step back. He hissed, shocked by the unexpected force from a child. Lara stared at her daughter. "Mira, no. It is too dangerous." But Myra's small voice shook with anger and fear. "He hurt Papa." The Shadow Man's eyes widened behind the mask, only for a moment, but enough for Ryan to realize something strange. There was pain in that reaction, real pain. But the moment passed. With a cold, sharp movement, the Shadow Man lunged again toward Mira. This time, Ryan didn't think. He just moved. He grabbed the glowing jar despite Lara's warning and held it high. The jar screamed louder, a piercing cry that shook the entire kitchen. The Shadow Man froze mid-step, the sound hitting him like knives. Ryan shouted, "Stay back!" The jar cracked further, bright blue liquid swirling violently inside. The glow spilled into Ryan's hands, burning hot but somehow not harming him. The Shadow Man lowered his head, breathing hard. His voice came from behind the mask, deep, distorted, angry. "You do not understand what you hold." "Human." Ryan stepped back, gripping the jar tighter. "Then explain it." The masked figure didn't move. He just stared. Finally, he spoke in a voice filled with bitterness. "That jar is the last memory of our father. Velter stole it. And now you hold it like a toy. Ren blinked. Father, you and Velter were brothers? The Shadow Man stepped closer, slow and controlled. Yes, and he betrayed our clan. Lara stepped forward, her voice sharp. Velter did not betray anyone. You know the truth. The Syndicate wanted to use the core for war. Velter refused. That is why he died. The masked figure's fists tightened. He lied to me. He protected you, Lara said fiercely. But before the argument could continue, a loud crash came from the front of the restaurant. Doors shook. Tables fell. The air filled with the sound of multiple footsteps. Many of them. The Syndicate was here. The Shadow Man turned sharply toward the noise. His breathing grew heavier, angrier. They followed me, he whispered. Ryan's eyes widened. They're going to storm the restaurant. The alive jar screamed again louder than before. The walls vibrated. The kitchen lights glowed bright red. Lara grabbed Ryan's arm. We must fight them off. If they take the restaurant, we lose everything. Ryan nodded, heart pounding. What do we do? Lara opened a drawer, revealing strange alien blades and glowing kitchen tools. We defend this place. The Shadow Man looked at Ryan, then at Mira. And something in him shifted. He lowered his weapon hand and said quietly, I will fight with you. The attack on the restaurant had begun. The restaurant shook so hard that plates fell from the shelves and shattered across the floor. Screams and footsteps echoed from the dining hall as the Syndicate soldiers forced their way inside. Shadows moved in sharp, violent shapes against the walls. The alive jar in Ryan's hands shook with fear, glowing brighter, almost blinding. Lara grabbed a glowing silver blade from the drawer. Mira held onto her mother's clothes, eyes wide and terrified. The Shadow Man, Velter's brother, stood still for a long moment, listening to the noise outside. Ryan looked at him. Are you with us or not? The masked figure slowly lifted his head. I never wanted Velter dead. I wanted answers. His voice cracked slightly behind the mask. Tonight, I see the truth myself. Another crash shook the kitchen door. Dust rained down. Syndicate voices shouted in harsh alien tones, demanding surrender. Lara stepped forward. We fight together, or we die alone. The Shadow Man nodded once, then the kitchen door burst open, and the battle began. 3 Syndicate soldiers charged first, big, armored, and armed with electric spears. Ryan dodged one strike, feeling the electricity buzz past his cheek. Lara moved like light itself, slicing one soldier's weapon in half before he could even blink. The Shadow Man blocked 2 blows with his dark arm, pushing both attackers back with unnatural strength. Ryan grabbed whatever he could: spoons, pans, glowing spices, and threw them desperately. One spice jar exploded like a flash bomb, blinding a soldier long enough for Lara to knock him unconscious. But more soldiers poured in. 5, then 8, then 10. They're too many. Ryan shouted. No, Lara said, pointing at the pulsing alive jar still glowing in Ryan's hands. We have one thing they fear. Ryan stared at it. The jar glowed like a small sun. The liquid inside swirled rapidly, forming shapes, memories, voices, faces. He remembered Velter's message, use the final dish. Ryan didn't know how to make alien food. He barely knew how to breathe right now. But something deep inside him felt the kitchen calling him. The spices, the ingredients, the warmth of the walls, they responded to him. As if they recognized him, he ran to the counter. Cover me. I'm going to make something. Lara's eyes widened. Ryan, you don't know how. I know enough. He shouted back. I feel it. The Shadow Man and Lara defended him while he grabbed ingredients: randomly glowing leaves, shimmering powders, blue broth, and a handful of red dust that vibrated with heat. He moved fast, almost guided by instinct. The alive jar hummed in rhythm with his hands, glowing brighter with every movement. Ryan poured broth into a large bowl. The liquid shimmered and glowed. He added spices Velter used before. Blue steam rose like mist. The kitchen walls pulsed with soft light, reacting to each step. Mira whispered in awe, "He's cooking like Papa." Ryan didn't hear her. He added the final ingredient, the pulsing liquid from the alive jar. The moment a single drop touched the broth, the entire kitchen lit up in a burst of blue light. Soldiers stumbled back, screaming as their weapons flickered. Lara shielded Mira with her body. The Shadow Man's mask glowed silver. The bowl in Ryan's hands shined like a star. He shouted, "Tell your leader to come. This dish is for him alone." A deep voice replied from the broken kitchen doorway. "Then I am here." The syndicate leader stepped inside, tall, armored, 4 glowing eyes, his presence heavy like gravity. His soldiers bowed instantly. He looked at Ryan with cold contempt. "You are the human who thinks he can protect what is ours?" Ryan lifted the glowing bowl. "This restaurant is not yours. But if you want the truth, take it," the leader laughed. "Truth? We want power." "You can't have power without truth," Ryan said. The leader moved forward, intrigued despite himself. "What is this dish?" "The final recipe of peace," Ryan answered. "Only a human can make it. Only a leader can eat it." The leader hesitated, then slowly reached for the bowl. The moment he touched it, the alive jar inside screamed, then quieted. The broth glowed brighter. He drank. The lights exploded into color. The leader staggered back, clutching his head as visions slammed into him, memories of Velter, of the syndicate's cruelty, of lies spoken for decades. He saw Velter refusing war. He saw Velter trying to protect both sides. He saw Velter's brother begging him not to die. Then he dropped the bowl. The glowing liquid fell harmlessly to the floor. The leader looked up, shaking. "We were wrong." The Shadow Man stepped forward. "You killed my brother for nothing." The leader bowed his head. "He protected us all. And we murdered him." The soldiers stood frozen. No one moved. Slowly, they lowered their weapons. Peace, real peace spread across the room like warm light. The leader turned to Ryan. "Human, you saved us. What do you want in return?" Ryan looked at Lara and Mira. "I want them safe. I want this restaurant safe." The leader nodded. "You have my word." The syndicate retreated, taking their shadows and violence with them. The restaurant slowly stopped shaking. The alive jar dimmed to a gentle glow, like a child falling asleep. Lara touched Ryan's arm softly. "You saved us." Mira hugged him tightly. "You're family now." Ryan breathed deeply. For the first time in days. Outside, dawn slowly rose. Inside, the restaurant felt warm, alive with hope. And Ryan knew this was only the beginning of a new life, new peace, and a new family that fate had chosen for him.